Thank you all for doing that. And thank you, Mayor, for that request. Now, before we begin, I'd like to recognize the many important guests that we have here today, including community leaders, business leaders, and our dedicated Houston First board members and the outstanding team of the Houston First Corporation. Thank you all for making the time to join us on this historic day. I also would like to take the time to recognize all of our elected officials who represent our local, state, and federal levels. If you are an elected official, I would now like to ask you to stand so that we may properly recognize you, council members and guests. Thank you for your leadership and your commitment to Houston. So we are here today to mark a new era for the George R. Brown Convention Center, for downtown, and for the Houston region. A structure that has stood as a pillar of economic growth, of innovation, and community engagement for nearly 40 years. The George R. Brown, or the GRB as we like to call it, is more than just a meeting space. It is a testament to Houston's spirit of progress and ambition. The GRB story begins in the early 1980s when Houston recognized the need for a world-class convention facility to keep pace with the city's growth. Named for the late George Rufus Brown, a prominent Houston entrepreneur, philanthropist, and influential figure in economic development, the original center opened in September of 1987 after more than 2 years of construction, ushering in a new period of opportunity for meetings and conventions in our city with more than 1.1 million square feet of space. At the time, it was one of the largest centers of its kind in the United States. But as Houston, as many of you know, continued to grow, so did the demand for larger and more advanced convention facilities. In response, the city embarked on multiple expansions to enhance the GRB. The first came in 2003, when the convention center nearly doubled in size, adding 800,000 square feet of additional space. This expansion also included the construction of the Hilton Americas Houston, which remains our city's largest hotel and created a connected experience for our meetings and visitors. A second wave of enhancement came in 2016 with a major renovation that more closely connected the building to the incredible Discovery Green and created a true campus environment for locals and visitors with the Avianita Houston Plaza. These grand improvements, along with new restaurants and the debut of the Marriott Marquis, solidified Houston's status as a top-tier convention destination. Over the years, the GRB has hosted an incredible variety of events, from international trade shows and business conferences to political events, Super Bowl, college football, and Final Four fan fests, and even emergency response efforts in our city's greatest times of need. The Convention Center plays a pivotal role in Houston's economy. It helps generate hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue annually, which supports local businesses, our hospitality industry, which is a major component of Houston's workforce, and job growth. But now, how can Houston First ensure that this center, this campus which we're on, and this part of our city remain competitive and built for success for the years and generations and decades to come? Thanks to the leadership of our mayor, John Whitmire, we now have a clear path forward, and you are going to see that today. While I know he's not one for fanfare, I do think he deserves special recognition for being here today. I think his famous line is, "Let's get to work." We know he likes to get to work, and he got some work done. It was his leadership in the Texas legislature that helped make this transformational project for our great city possible. So now it's my pleasure to introduce Houston First CEO Michael Heckman. Michael is we'll get there, hold on. Michael, I gotta recognize it first. Michael is a truly inspirational leader for our city, and we're lucky to have him. He does so much with the team that highlights all the great things that our city has to offer, not just in Houston and Texas, but all across the world. Michael and his outstanding team of Houston First, many of whom I get to work with every day, work tirelessly to represent the best of Houston, our people, our culture, our food, our venues, our hospitality industry, Work that brought last year over 54 million visitors into our city. And it continues to be a major economic driver for us, for our community, for our city. And now, Michael will tell us more about this generational project. Thank you.
Well, Jay, thank you for that. Very much appreciated. And let me, from the top here, recognize your leadership of our board over the last year, which has been focused and businesslike, which has enabled us to advance this project. You know, today is an incredibly proud day for me and the team at Houston First. We're always proud to represent Houston, a vibrant, growing, and forward-looking city made up of great people where truly anything is possible when we work together. We know that it's our responsibility as the region's destination marketing organization to tell Houston's story across the country and around the world. We take that responsibility seriously because so many businesses and jobs in our community rely on our ability to execute on that mission. And now we have a chance to do something truly transformative with the development that we are unveiling today. As we all know, developments require the right real estate. So at this time, I want to take a moment and recognize and thank Carl Wu, the president of OPIC Oil. My team and I have had the great privilege of working with President Wu and OPIC Oil to acquire this block and the one adjacent. The project we're announcing today would not be possible without their partnership and their willingness to work with us. Thank you, President Wu. You know, a generation ago, through the political will of elected officials and community leaders, big things happened in this part of Houston. In the late 90s, legislation at the state, led by then Senator Whitmire, was passed that created the funding structure for the Sports Authority. Now, Mayor Whitmire often says it was the toughest bill he ever passed. And boy, did it make a difference. It was followed by construction of the baseball stadium now known as Dyken Park. A couple of years later, Toyota Center opened just a few yards from where we are today. Then in 2003, the Hilton Americas opened, still the largest hotel in our city. Followed a few years later by a public and private effort to create Discovery Green, one of the most dynamic urban green spaces in the nation. These were game-changing projects that collectively helped create an attractive district surrounding the George R. Brown. Now, we have another generational opportunity to shape Houston's future. At Houston First, we know that the business of tourism, conventions, and events is highly competitive. And if you're not moving forward, you are falling behind. Not only in Texas, but cities across the country are making moves to attract major conventions and events by investing heavily in world-class venues and cutting-edge infrastructure to create unforgettable experiences. Houston must act boldly to stay ahead. So, a few years ago, we sought to develop a vision for the future that would create an unmatched district that would appeal to visitors and Houstonians and would reimagine this part of our city. As we began this work, we said that our biggest risk factor was not thinking big enough. Out of that came this phased master plan that will not only supercharge our convention business, but will reconnect downtown and the East End while enhancing walkability and our public gathering spaces. This will further establish this part of downtown as a destination, convention, and entertainment district. Step one will be the new GRB Houston South, which we envision as the most flexible and sellable convention building in the United States, allowing us to layer business in a way that we have never been able to before. We'll be able to host multiple events in our expanded and reimagined building at once, which in turn will bring more opportunities to Houston, filling more hotel rooms and hospitality businesses, generating millions and millions of dollars in new revenue for our community. Beyond our new 700,000 square foot building, we will create a 100,000 square foot plaza connected to Toyota Center that will become an epicenter for events in our community. And in subsequent phases, we will also remake and modernize the existing GRB, including reprogramming the building's meeting spaces to mirror the sellability and flexibility of the new South Building. Also, through a public and private partnership, we will develop an entertainment district, complete with restaurants, nightlife, retail, and more that will be a destination for locals and visitors. But I should emphasize that this is more than just about conventions and hotel room nights. It's about broader economic development and about creating an opportunity for our community. We will connect this entire district with Edo and the East End via pedestrian promenade, bringing together Discovery Green and what will eventually be a roughly 30-acre cat park over the redeveloped I-69 corridor. This project would simply be renderings on a page, if not for Senate Bill 1057, which passed in 2023, authored by then Senator John Whitmire, and carried in the Texas House by Representative Sam Harless. Senate Bill 1057 gives Houston access to the state's portion of incremental hotel occupancy tax in the area surrounding the convention center over the next 3 decades. We will use that funding to realize this project, which means we're able to develop the vision without burdening local taxpayers. With funding secured, we assembled a world-class team led by our development manager, Houston-based global real estate firm Hines, our architect Populous, which is the foremost firm in the world in convention center architecture, and the joint venture of Gilbane Flint Co., our nationally recognized construction management team. This is truly a generational opportunity for Houston, an investment that will ignite future development in the area surrounding us, from new hotels and retail to interactive entertainment and much, much more. This is about seizing and creating Houston's future, and I think you all will be as excited as we are when you see the vision. I often get the great opportunity to introduce our mayor, and there's all kinds of superlatives and things that you can go through, which I won't do this morning, but what I will share is my experience in working with him to get to today. We unveiled thoughts of this vision to him in late 2022 before that legislative session. And after seeing it, he looked at me and he said, "Michael, this is too important for Houston. We have to pass this bill." And you know, anyone that knows anything about Austin, that it's much easier to kill a bill than to pass a bill. And this bill was dead 3 or 4 times easily, and I'm sure he can tell you more about that. But one thing I did want to share is our team in Austin was telling us that the Senate committee wanted significant changes to the bill as written that would have radically changed our bill, and that we just weren't going to get there. So the next morning, as I typically did through that process, I called Elizabeth Brock, and I explained this to her. And she said, "Well, the senator needs to know this." And she hung up, called him, called me back, and said, "He understands, he's going to take care of it, he will call you." 3 hours later, I had a phone call from the senator. He said, "I've talked to the committee chair, we're all set." And on it went until ultimate passage. It is now my honor to introduce to you all our mayor, John Whitmire.
Thank you, Michael and Jay. Excellent jobs. My daughters who are with me today, Sarah and Whitney, tell me to smile more. And I said, well, you know I enjoy smiling and enjoy life, but most days I'm dealing with such serious subjects in city services that it's just so serious it's hard to smile. But this morning, girls, I'm smiling because we have a lot to smile about. And I want to first by speaking to my fellow colleagues, city officials, county, elected officials. This is why we run for office. You work hard, you knock doors, you're honest, you work across the aisle, and this, not only vision, but this is reality. And that's why we work hard to make a day like today become reality. You know, we have a great city, great people, but we have challenges like most major cities. But we meet our challenges in Houston, Texas, head on, solve them. And while city government is addressing public safety, infrastructure, our finances, the homeless, I could go on a list of things that we're working hard, quite frankly, 18-hour days, weekends, get calls in the middle of the night. But today, we're not going to talk about those issues. They'll be for me when I get to City Hall later this morning, and I'll work with my colleagues. Today, we have an opportunity to talk about Houston's vitality. You know, Chevron brings its corporate headquarters to downtown. Apple announced 2 weeks ago they're coming to Houston. The word is out. Houston's economy is strong. This vision that is going to be displayed today is a game changer. Our city government, with its efficiency study and tough decisions, is the talk not only in Washington, where my team met with the Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of HUD, but in Austin yesterday. My Chief of Staff and his team was addressing how we're moving forward in Houston, and they're getting invited to Waco across this state to make the same presentation. So today is about success, and it doesn't come easy. It takes collaboration, all levels of government, working across the aisle, being honest, transparent. So let's just talk a moment about why we're so excited, and you're going to get to see it for yourself. This will transform Central Houston. All great cities have a strong, successful downtown. We have challenges. We all readily admit that. But just envision, or your experiences. You go to a World Series game, successfully won by the Astros, you don't want to go home. You come out of Toyota, the Rockets are winning. You don't want to go home. You go to Discovery Green. You don't want to go home. In fact, you want to come back to Discovery Green. Well, now Discovery Green's got a real partner. With the entertainment district that we're going to display today, nobody in America, in fact, the construction company says it's not being done anywhere in the world to the level and success that this presents us. So we had to do this. We were losing ground to Dallas, Austin, San Antonio, around the country. Their facilities were larger, offered options. So when they brought this to me, as Michael said, we had no choice. And I'll even share, when I got that call, that Representative Myers from Dallas was holding it up in Ways and Means in the House. Now, at that late point in the session, there's always some friction between the House and the Senate. Who's got the biggest stick? So I thought also, and they'd gotten word, he was holding it up on behalf of Dallas officials. They don't want this competition. They're always trying to catch up with Houston. Our diversity, our economy, our museums, our sports facility, you name it. Dallas knows their stepchild, okay? They're the stepchild. So I heard Myers was holding it up. I didn't know Myers, but I spent 10 years in the House, 40 in the Senate. You got to make them feel important. So I got the call. I went to the House. Do y'all know how long a 40-year senior member of the Senate, the last time I was in the House? I ran for the Senate to get out of the House. But I knew what we had to do. So we went over there at 8:30 in the morning. His office hadn't opened, but there was the guest book. Representative Myers, Senator Whitmire, sorry I missed you. I look forward to talking to you. He came over to the Senate about an hour later, assured me that it would be handled by his committee. It works, relationships, experience. So when we saw what was our challenge, I'll give you another insight. So I go before a Republican-controlled Senate committee, business and industry, Birdwell out of Waco. You know, the state doesn't give up $2 billion of its revenue very, very quickly. So I'm looking at my friends on the committee. I'm pitching, as I'm describing today, Houston needs some assistance. And it just occurred to me, they're going to all be at the Republican National Convention in 2028. So as I sold Houston's idea and vision, I said, gentlemen and ladies senators, I look forward to seeing you at the 2028 Republican Convention. And there it goes. And it's going to be completed by then. It's an outstanding opportunity to put Houston on the display across this state and this nation. Now let me just emphasize why I'm so excited as the mayor of Houston. A Houstonian growing up here, U of H, my roots are here. I've known my entire adult life, certainly my public official service, that the East End's been left out. The East End's been left out. 45, 59 have divided our community. Can you envision what this is going to do? 45 Pierce elevated, 59 underground. As Michael pointed out, we're going to have a 30-acre green space. It will complement Discovery Green. It will create a walkability like never before for Central Houston. People will not only come here, they'll come back here because they're going to experience a safe environment where there's so many options. I will bet you a Coke, Tillman will open up the east side of Toyota Arena. We're all going to be in this together. But to the Hispanic, proud East Side community, this is your day. We'll have the green space. We're going to open up the East Side entrance to George Brown. We're all in this together. And it's something to be proud of and exciting. So let's celebrate this, Laura, but what it means for all Houstonians. You know, I was downtown with the chief 2 weeks ago on a Saturday night. We got some scooters that kind of get in the way of walkability, some noise. And you ought to see the activity here at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. It's stimulating. It makes you proud to be a Houstonian. Certainly makes me proud to be the mayor of this great city. So let's celebrate today, sir. We live in a great city, great people. We're meeting our challenges. And I will close with this request. Everyone here, I'm looking at the leadership across Houston. I need you to buy into city government. Double down on the interest of city government because we're going in the right direction. People are watching us across this nation. How's it happening? Some people had said big cities just can't be run properly. We're doing it. But I need support. I need your advice, your counsel, your diversity, civic, faith, philanthropic, business, academic. We're all in this great city. So let's enjoy today, sir. Let's enjoy today, and let me share with you why I'm so excited. Let's go to work.
Houston is a city of bold ideas, where innovation, community, and ambition converge to shape what's next. Sports, entertainment, and convention venues, and a connected transit system set the stage for something bigger. For what's possible when a city dares to reimagine its future. At the center of this vision is a convention and entertainment district designed to breathe on all four sides, welcoming guests from every angle. A 360-degree experience ensures accessibility, no matter where guests are coming from, fostering an atmosphere of connectivity and convenience. This dynamic district will be a beacon of innovation, equipped with amenities that cater to everything from major international conferences to intimate events. A vibrant hub that will elevate Houston's profile, drive economic growth, and provide unmatched experiences for our community. We're proud to announce the vision of a master plan designed to elevate Houston today and build for tomorrow. Designed to be uniquely Houston, flexible spaces will be inspired by nature and rooted in community. We're excited to share the first step in this grand vision, opening in 2028. Welcome to Phase 1, the GRB Houston South. With vibrant pedestrian plazas designed to bring people together and sweeping cityscape views setting the stage for unforgettable moments. Guests will enjoy dining, retail, interactive entertainment experiences, and lush pedestrian-friendly plazas. Whether you're looking to unwind after a busy day or to explore the creative pulse of the city, there's something for everyone. This master plan envisions walkability from green space to green space, connecting communities and restitching the East End and downtown.
We're going to completely transform downtown Houston. It's going to improve the infrastructure. It's going to improve public safety. It's going to allow Discovery Green and the George R. Brown Entertainment District to be the destination for Houstonians and all of our guests from around the world and our country.
So what we're trying to do for the George R. Brown is to understand and break down the barriers and reconnect the communities and really provide an experience that's not just for visitors to Houston and convention and meeting goers. This is for residents of Houston.
From global conferences to unforgettable celebrations, this vibrant new destination will be the epicenter of innovation, culture, and connection. Future phases of the master plan introduce an entertainment district, a dramatic redesign of the existing GRB, which will dynamically connect downtown and Eden, with a pedestrian promenade as well as a new eastern-facing gateway. This is a movement and a bold vision. The future of Houston starts now.
Thank you all so much for being here today. Everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you so much.